Hi, my name is Edmund, and I am here in kind of my first web vlog, I guess we call it, on the creation of my new deck, which I am calling the Marseilles de Lenormand. And I'd kind of in this first little installment, I'd kind of like to discuss the origins of the deck and kind of how it came about. Because even though the short little trailer only went up a little while ago, the deck has kind of been in the works for quite a while now. And this is my second deck, and my first deck was a deck based on the artwork of Pamela Coleman Smith, and the reaction to that deck, which we call affectionately the Pixie deck, was astounding and wonderful, and truth be told, it took me completely by surprise. It was a deck that I made to help me learn the system of Lenormand and make the bridge between tarot and this to kind of help integrate the systems when I do a reading. And so I think it was really about halfway through that process that I jokingly said, "Oh, we should do the next deck should be a deck in the Marseille style." But I was completely dedicated to that first deck, and I really didn't. It was like, that's in the future. But then, having conversations with people after the Pixie deck came out about the use of the imagery in the cards, it was really interesting, because something that I really was not aware of when I was first learning was that there are several more traditional schools of reading the system that you actually use hints built within the artwork to give details, such as the position of the clouds or the direction of the scythe, and whether the book is open or closed is actually used to affect the reading, which now that I'm learning a lot more about even the use of the playing card images, it's really made me want to do like a hardcore traditional Lenormand style, and so I kind of got to thinking, okay, looking back at the kind of a lot of the more traditional style decks, what is it that works on these, as opposed to something newer like the mystical or something like that, and so really the if I wanted to go traditional Lenormand, as tarot has the infamous Rider-Waite deck. This is our baby. This is the deck we all kind of learn from. Lenormand has the what is called the Blue Owl, and so this is like the deck. This is the traditional deck. It's not the first deck. Just like how the Rider-Waite Smith deck isn't the first tarot deck, but this is the deck that everyone says, this is the starting deck. Get the Blue Owl. Get the Blue Owl. So my goal was to kind of marry traditional tarot, because when you're going traditional with tarot, it's Marseille. That's just it, like Marseille, traditional tarot, and Blue Owl, traditional Lenormand. And so it's a way to so my goal with this deck is to get these two systems to mesh. And like an example would be card number 12, which is called the Birds. And in some traditional courses on the Lenormand, they actually call this card the Owl, which was one of those dingy moments, like, okay, so some people look at the bird as a way of naming the cards. So where this is the traditional Lenormand, this is the reinterpretation of it. Oh, note the card size difference. But So the elements are there towards it's the two birds, you know, they are owls, they are in the tree. There's the playing card aspect onto it. But you know, this is very much in the style of a Marseille deck. So cleaned up version, but a Marseille deck. So it's you know, it's kind of going to be a really, I think, a fun artistic journey to kind of see where this can go. Now with the Pixie deck, I had a wonderful background support group that would help out with the way the final cards looked and the way they were shaped. Rena George, Nikki Diamond, Janet Barris, and Molly Yates were all kind of my background critics as to what worked and what didn't work. You know, what was too tarot, what was too Lenormand, what was, you know, what just didn't work artistically, what just didn't make sense. So and they have all been put in place, you know, kind of once more. So kind of like my whole little creative team is in place, and so they're all back on board. So I'm hoping that this deck will have you know, a similar cohesion with their guidance. So you know, because they're, and you know, it takes a village to raise a child, and so yeah, so that's really kind of the genesis of this deck, and so I'm hoping, you know, next time round I'll actually take you through kind of how, at least for me, a card is made in this style, because it's, you know, a lot of it is done on the computer, but there is a great deal of it that is done by hand, either both before and afterwards in the finished piece. So I hope you all join me for this hopefully fun journey into the creation of yet another deck. So until next time, I'll see you all on the boards.